Episode number 237, NRB Backstage Pass, Part 1, featuring interviews with Kevin and Sam Sorbo and Ashley Bratcher. Let's do it.
This is the definitive podcast for helping you plan, create, and execute dynamic worship experiences at your church. Useful, practical content in the areas of production, worship, communications, first impressions, and more. This is Making Sunday Happen.
Well, hey guys, welcome to Making Sunday Happen, the definitive podcast for those who plan, create, and execute worship experiences all around the world. This week we're recording at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with my buddy Steve Dirk. Steve, this is your first NRB. What do you think, man?
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome how there's one event where it brings all the people who are communicating God's Word together. It's a good opportunity for networking. And just meeting new people. It's great.
Have you gotten into any of the sessions or seen any of the exhibits on the floor?
Some on the floor. I was in your session, Podcasting 101. I heard great things about that. I wasn't really able to listen too much because I was behind the camera, but I'll listen to it later. But yeah, I heard there were a lot of good sessions that were happening on the floor. I didn't even necessarily be in them because we were running a booth. 12:30 was actually on the floor running a booth, so that's what my main focus was this week, but it was great.
Yeah, awesome, man. So the next couple of weeks on the show, 3 or 4 weeks, in fact, we're going to be sharing interviews with you, with people that we've interviewed here at the convention. So we have interviews lined up with Kevin and Sam Sorbo, Ashley Bratcher, the star of Unplanned. You'll see both of those interviews in this episode. Then we have Kay Arthur. We have Christian counselor June Hunt. I did an interview with 3 dear pastor friends of mine. And others.
Kept them under 15 minutes.
I kept them. That was a super big challenge. I did. All right. So this week in our look backstage at NRB, I want to share my interviews with Kevin and Sam Sorbo with you and actress Ashley Bratcher. Now, I talked with these guys about some upcoming projects of theirs that would be great to get your congregation or volunteers involved with. Now, if you're looking for movies, especially to use as tools or resources to reach your community, these are the guys producing these projects, and I want to encourage you to support them and support their projects. So churches can play a huge role in the success of faith-based projects. So although these guys don't directly hit those who make Sunday happen, I want to deviate just a little bit and let you know about some upcoming projects headed your way for your church to get behind. So here is my interview with Kevin and Sam Sorbo. Check this out. Hey guys, I'm here with Kevin and Sam Sorbo. So Kevin, you got a new documentary coming out.
Yes.
Called Against the Tide. Mm-hmm. You're with Oxford math professor John Lennox.
Yep.
So tell me about it, how you got involved.
You know, Stephen Huff got a hold of me, he's our exec producer on this, and he said we actually flew out to Branson to meet with, where John lives, where Steve lives, to meet with John. We started talking about the idea behind what we're going to do. Ended up shooting 3 weeks in Oxford, England, and 2 weeks in Israel.
Wow.
With this man, it's unbelievable. This guy, he's got like 5 or 6 degrees. But he is an apologist. He's a God-fearing man. He's debated all the great atheists of the world, from Hitchens to Dawkins and everybody in between. This documentary was an amazing godsend for me to be part of, to show the pieces of this man's life and what he does to spread the word in a positive way. Because I get a kick out of it because you see these guys get so angry, and he stays so calm and cool, and he's got such a great sense of humor about it all. And he just says, he kills them with love and kindness and facts and truth. And you know how much they hate the truth. So
tell me, I'm a church. Right. It's not released yet. You're still working on distribution and stuff like that. But tell me, I'm a church, I'm a pastor. How do I come behind that, support it, and things like that? How can I get my church involved?
Hopefully we get it out this year. That's the game plan behind us right now. We're still looking for distribution right now. That's kind of being pieced together. They can go to the website. I don't know if that's even launched yet. What did Ralph say about that?
No, there's the website. It's on the card there.
It is on the card there. I take that back because we talked about something else.
The way to support it is to tell your congregation about it and tell them that they need to support the movie. To show the trailer in the sermon would be great.
So give me content.
Against the Tide movie. Against the Tide dot movie is where they got to go.
Against the Tide dot movie.
Yeah.
Against the Tide dot movie is the website.
All right, so I was going to ask about content. Give me the content. If I'm a pastor, how is it going to be used as a tool that I can give my congregation, let's say if it hits DVD or whatever, to talk to atheists, to be a resource? Tell me about that.
You just said it right there. It's a tool because it preps them and prepares them to give valid, honest to God, straightforward, in their face, in a positive way, messages of why the apologetics works against the falsities of atheism.
Got it.
And I think it's a great tool for that.
It shows some of the debates.
Yeah,
it shows the
shows.
questions and answers and the back and forth, and it's very humorous, and so it's easy to share with people.
Yeah.
But you as somebody's going to church, how many times have friends maybe in their workplace got in their face about this and that and said, I can't believe in God when all the bad things happen, things like that.
Yeah.
You're going to see the toughest atheists in the world that write books, worse than the ones I did in God's Not Dead and Let There Be Light, okay? And they're going to go after, see, I got to plug in for 2 movies.
Right.
They're going to learn a lot. It's a great educational tool for pastors to get out to their congregants.
And you meet with them and you also narrate it, right?
I narrate as well. I'm on camera with them. And
great.
The trip through Israel, Oxford was amazing itself, but the trip to Israel with them was pretty special.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have a brand new book just released. So show it to me. Tell me about it. So you guys wrote this together.
Yes.
And it's marriage, movies, and miracles, right? Tell me about that.
Oh my.
my.
So it's
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a follow-up to his first book is True Strength,
Right.
which sort of detailed his recovery from having 3 strokes. And this is sort of the follow-up, and we just share stories from our life, the challenges that we've gone through as a married couple.
How long have y'all been married?
22 years.
Which in Hollywood is beyond a golden anniversary, just so you know.
And y'all met on Hercules, right?
We
We
did.
did.
You were
we
right.
did. She came down there 24 years ago now. Oh my Lord. I did this series when I was 8.
Right.
We think because of the strokes and his recovery, we struggled with infertility, and we tell that story, and just lots of storytelling, fun stories and sad stories. And
I think the battles that we've gone through are battles that any couple can relate to, certainly,
Yeah.
and the power of faith helping guide through the rough tides that we all enter in life, period.
Yeah.
I mean, God didn't promise life was going to be perfect, right?
Right.
So we're here on this earth to hopefully make a difference, and this book is really something that's a good guiding force for...
Yeah, so just released. Tell me where I can get it.
So this is available samsorbo.com, kevinsorbo.net.
Yep.
It's also available on Amazon, but go to our websites and we'll
'Cause then we'll
personalize
autograph
it for you.
Yeah. Well, also
And then-
too,
sorry.
and people, I want people to know, like, if you go to your website, you're going to get more of the funds to do more ministry with,
Well, that's
right?
true.
So,
That's true.
I mean, I know we hate talking about money, but that's a piece of it to help you guys, fund more ministry
Well,
projects.
filmmakers are always looking for money.
Right.
It's a sad state of
Right.
affairs.
So true.
Show up your book. There are your
Okay,
kids.
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
my
tell me
book.
about that
I'm a homeschool advocate. Homeschooling is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm also an education activist because we need to revamp the way we think about education in the United States. And we need to reinsert entrepreneurism into our educational standards and aspirations.
And if homeschooling intimidates you, so I could never do that, you went through 12 to 13 years of public education. What does that say about your education that you're fearful of teaching a first grader how to do math?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. All right, last question for you. So
Yes.
you're very vocal on social media, which is awesome about your conservative views and just Christianity.
Yeah.
So tell me, I'm a church, I'm a ministry, I'm an organization. How can I come alongside projects like you guys produce? And what's the best way I can
Once
support
again,
you?
it's as simple as getting the support. We need the support. It's Hollywood has the money, right? They put out $300 million movies. They'll throw $150 million to promote the next movie coming out.
Yeah.
They'll throw that much P&A money out. We're trying to raise maybe $3 million at most. That sounds like a laugh. That's catering on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
We need to get word of mouth out there. God's Not Dead happened because of word of mouth. Movies like
Yeah.
that, I can only imagine happening because of words of mouth. And
Yeah.
we need the positive approach from pastors getting out there. And I'll tell you what, I have a movie coming out later this year called Miracle in East Texas. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. I was fortunate to direct it, but I'm in it. Sam's in it. John Ratzenberger's in it. Tyler Maine's in it. Lou Gossett Jr.'s in it.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. If you go to your local theater and say, we're going to fill this thing up for every screening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they will bring the movie in. They don't care what movie they're showing. They want to sell more popcorn.
Right.
So these are movies with a positive message of hope and love and redemption and faith, and we need to get these movies out there because we're battling a giant. We're battling a Goliath in Hollywood right now with the agenda that they have, and we got to be the Davids and rise up.
So let me say this.
Good.
With this book, Kevin and I did a mini devotional. It's 5 devotions to strengthen your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's available at bit.ly/Sorbo Guide. That's bit.ly/Sorbo Guide. If you go there, you can get on our mailing list.
Yeah.
And then you will know all things about the movies.
Yeah.
Because we will be able to correspond directly with you. I urge you to go to Kevin's Facebook page, the official Kevin Sorbo.
KevinSorbo.net, yeah.
The Facebook page is the
sorry.
official
The
Kevin
Facebook
Sorbo Facebook page.
The official
Mine
Kevin
is
Sorbo,
the
yeah.
official Sam Sorbo Facebook page. That's great, but one of these days, Facebook is, it's not Facebook. Facebook is going to shut
true.
us down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubts that,
Yeah.
that they're already doing things to shadow ban and to
No doubt.
suppress. And so go to bit.ly/Sorbo Guide, pick up your free mini devotional that we basically did to sort of help promote the book and help promote marriage. And then also go to our pages, and you can email us directly, actually, and get on the mailing list. samsorbo.com, kevinsorbo.net.
All I said was, I talked about the trip to Israel, that we did a trip as well as a family. We took 40 people walking in the footsteps of Jesus. And I posted something about how great it was to be in Israel, how amazing it was, and Facebook shut me down. It took me 4 months to get back on. All I said was, had a great trip to Israel.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Well,
But we need to form ranks. We need to join together.
We do. It's so important for churches and ministries to get involved because things like opening weekend, huge. Tell me how important opening of a
weekend
project.
is so important. If you don't have a good opening weekend, then nothing good happens right after that. Seriously, they will pull it from theaters
it's
right
out.
away.
They'll just shut you down.
Yeah.
The God sent for our last movie, Let There Be Light, is we had a very good opening weekend. And we had other people come in that wanted to give chase money to get more theaters.
Yeah.
And
If you haven't
need
seen
that.
Let There Be Light, you
Check out
have
Let
to
There Be
go
Light.
see Let There Be
Streaming on
Light.
Amazon, lettherebelightmovie.com.
Or
Check that one out as well.
DVD.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
Carl, I
it.
appreciate
fun.
it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Thanks.
God bless.
Hey guys, this week's episode of our show is brought to you by our friends at the Ideas to Impact Conference. It's coming to New Orleans on May 27th and 28th. The speakers at the conference include Facebook's Nona Jones, Father Michael White, Tom Cochran. Both are authors of the Rebuilt books. Session speakers include Jenny Catron from the Foresight Group, also Rhonda Hendricks from North Point, Ashley Warren from Crosspoint Church, among others, including myself. I'll be doing a session on how to double your volunteer team. We'll talk about 10 strategies to see numerical and spiritual growth in your volunteer teams. So I hope to see you there for that. For tickets, you can register at ideastoimpact.com, ideastoimpact.com. I'll see you in Nolens, May 27th and 28th. You can check out this video for more information about the conference. Check this out.
I always tell my staff back at home that when I go to the Ideas to Impact conference, you're going and you are just going to worship. You're going to be encouraged. You're going to learn a lot.
We're all on the same team. You know, we're all working to try to increase the kingdom.
Just getting to meet a lot of new faces, play some fun games.
So as we're leading our teams, when we are able to give them a vision, we're giving them strength.
I've been to lots of the breakout sessions, and every one of them has been enlightening.
One of my favorite things is the Resource Center. To go down to the Resource Center and sit down with somebody who knows everything that you need to learn makes this conference worth every single penny.
However we can help you, that's really our heart. That is our mission.
Your leadership is elevated, Christ is honored, And that is what the church should be given to the world.
Well, hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed my interview with Kevin and Sam Sorbo about their upcoming projects and how you and your church can support them. Steve, so when you were on staff at a church, how important was it for you to gather a group of volunteers, maybe to go and support movies and go and support faith-based projects?
Yeah, it's super important because I think if you're on staff leading a team of volunteers in the church, you're constantly looking for ways to, one, be with your volunteers, and then two, do things with them that aren't just like actually serving whatever you're doing. So I think movies are a great opportunity to, one, bless your volunteers, take them to a movie. It's cheap, buy them some popcorn and a drink and just hang out with them. And then two, you're interacting with them outside of what's happening on a Sunday morning, which is the most important part because you're building relationships. And so if all they ever do is know that you care about them when they're behind the camera, they're not going to really feel important. And so it's important to start thinking, how can we add other things? And this is one thing you could do, is take them to a faith-based movie. I think movies are huge and critical because nowadays Hollywood pushes so many movies that go against everything that we are as believers, and a lot of times believers will line up and go see them, which I'm not saying is bad, but there's a lot of faith-based movies out here that are clean, that are wholesome, that are presenting values that we as believers need to get behind.
Yeah. So I want to encourage you, maybe you do a worship experience or message series too that relates to a topic of an upcoming film project. So for instance, like last week we talked with Jeremy Camp in the movie I Still Believe. So your message could be on loss, or it could be on how to walk by faith, things like that. And in the midst of tragedy, things like that with I Still Believe. And you could use the movie as a resource during your message series. So that's one way that you.
And also another thing is, a lot of churches have made a lot of like their summer series, movies in the park or whatever. And a lot of them are movies. A lot of them are movies where they're taking stuff that they weren't like intended to be a Christian movie, and they're making it. There's so many films out now that you could do a whole movies in the park series, and all the movies are geared towards bringing home Christian and biblical values. So you could do that whole series with Christian content the whole way through.
Yeah, and as long as you have your license in place in your church, these film companies are going to give you behind the scenes clips. They're going to give you things like that. So it's perfect for a God at the Movies or summer movies in the park kind of series. So great point. All right, so and same with Kevin's project, Against the Tide. So you could do a message on how to witness to an atheist, or a What We Believe type series, and use Against the Tide as a conversation starter for your people to use as an outreach to your community. So this might be good for a Sunday night or Wednesday night or summer movies in the park or God at the Movie series, that kind of thing. So these are great resources for you, and I want to encourage you to check them out. Another great resource, especially around the Sanctity of Life Sunday or on the topic of abortion or the pro-life movement, is the movie Unplanned that came out last year. And this was a major resource for the church when it comes to what we want to talk about when we talk about the pro-life movement in particular. So the star of that movie is an actress named Ashley Bratcher. She's a friend of ours, our ministry, and I caught up with Ashley to talk about the impact that the movie has had over the last year, and then some upcoming projects that her and her new production company is producing. So I want you to check out my interview with actress Ashley Bratcher. Check this out. Hey guys, I'm with Ashley Bratcher. Ashley, you starred in the movie Unplanned last year, so tell me some stories of the impact that the movie has made over the last year.
I would have never expected all of the messages that I received after the movie.
Yeah.
I got so many messages from young girls in particular saying, I'm young, this is going to ruin my life, I can't go to school, I'm going to have to drop out, I'm never going to have a career. And I just found this overwhelming sense of the same theme, this problem that seems so simple to solve, but also these other women saying, I felt so much healing from this movie.
Yeah.
So there was a problem that we needed to address, but then there was also something that the movie was already doing, creating this healing ministry. And so part of what I did after the film was starting a scholarship foundation.
Okay.
I partnered with Heartbeat International. I went to them and I said, hey, this seems like a simple problem. Can we solve this together?
Yeah.
How do you feel about starting a scholarship for these girls who choose life for their babies and they want to go to school and pursue their degrees? And they loved it. So right now, in the next couple of months, we're going to be starting taking our first applications and hook up these girls with financial assistance, resources in their community, where they'll get mentorship, child care services, help with government paperwork and all of that.
So tell me about some of the stories, but tell me some of the impact that the movie's made over the last year.
Well, there have definitely been legislators who have taken action because of it. In Georgia right now, the heartbeat bill has been a huge controversial topic. But we have a very pro-life governor. I'm not ashamed of him. And moving into this new year, I'm working with Georgia Life Alliance a lot to address foster care and adoption reform.
Okay.
And that's all been spurred, I think, because of this movie giving a voice to the pro-life movement and putting a face on this victim. I think anytime that you can finally see what's happening, which people don't with abortion, it's been so concealed, that this movie has been able to give a face to the victim and cause people to jump into action, to do things.
Yeah. Now, you've had a chance to speak all over the place because of the movie and other things. Tell me some of those stories.
My favorite place I've gone so far is Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so incredibly beautiful over there. But they're at a time right now that's critical where their abortion laws are being challenged. It's always been a very, very pro-life country, and right now they're experiencing legalization of abortion, and some of these cases where physicians are going to be forced to perform abortions or study abortion in medical school, and they're not going to have a choice on it. That's a huge problem. Places like Canada are the same. We've been to the Philippines. The Philippines are facing the same problem as Ireland right now.
Yeah.
But we're seeing that Unplanned has been a huge resource in going to those countries and getting people to talk about it.
So you stepped in kind of a new role over the last few months, and that is producer. And you guys have started Magnolia Films, right? Tell me about that.
That has been an endeavor that I wanted to start because it's what in the world do you do after Unplanned, right? It's a really difficult movie to follow in your career.
Right.
And you're looking at like a Hallmark movie is probably not the next best thing for me to do, like as much as I love
Lifetime
Hallmark.
Special.
Yeah, so I just thought I want to sail my own ship a little bit, and we want to tell stories that will continue to impact the world. So we started searching for literary properties. We found a story that we're really passionate about that I think is going to touch a lot of people, and my partner Shelby Thomas and I, we just jumped right in and said, we've never done this before, but we're going to trust you guys to lead the way and connect us with the right people, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, so are you still working with Carrie and Chuck and that crew, or is this is your own
This is
thing,
our
right?
baby for sure, but we have great mentors in Chuck and Carrie and some other people that we worked with.
Yeah, awesome. So one last question for you. So I hear kind of around the grapevine that you're after a Marvel role of She-Hulk. Is this true?
Indeed.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
There have been leaks that the casting notice just went out. Everything's so under wraps. I mean, it's Marvel. There's NDAs attached to NDAs.
Yeah.
It's insane. So I don't know what's going to happen. My agent, my manager, they know I'm after those roles.
Yeah.
I so want to get into some sci-fi and some comic book stuff. We'll see.
You want to add superhero to the list, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Carl.
The show notes for this episode are available now at makingsundayhappen.com.
Well, hey guys, thank you so much for listening and watching the show this week. Next week on the show, we'll be sharing my interviews with church media consultant Phil Cook, along with worship leader Yancey. Both are good friends of our ministry, so you want to be here for that next week. Some incredible content next week. I talked with Phil about 10 ways to lead church creatives. So creatives in the church, whether that's designers, video producers, anybody in your church that's on that creative team. I talked with Phil about how to lead them well as a pastor and a leader of your church. So be here for that. And then I talked with Yancey about the importance of using media content in your worship experience. Okay, so that is all next week. Show notes for this episode of the show are at makingsundayhappen.com. That's makingsundayhappen.com. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this week. Go out there and create some incredible worship experiences this weekend. I'll catch you next week.
Making Sunday Happen is a production of the ministry of 1230 Media. For show notes, archive episodes, and more free resources for your church, visit MakingSundayHappen.com.